This is a conscious mind approach to forgetting your ex. This is designed for active listening while driving or engaged in other activities. Of course, use your own digression. It uses cognitive reframing techniques and conscious mind approaches rather than relaxation or trance induction. Unlike traditional hypnosis, you can remain fully alert and conscious and just allow yourself to listen. Today we're going to have an honest conversation about moving on from someone who is wrong for you. I'm speaking directly to your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks, analyzes, and makes decisions. We'll explore powerful perspectives and insights that help you create distance from your ex and build a healthier relationship with yourself. Remember, you can listen to this as many times as you need. You can also listen to this while you're going to sleep if you prefer, but you can listen to this while you're awake as well. And each time you do, the ideas will become more familiar and they'll begin to feel like your own natural thoughts. The reality check. So let's start with something important. The relationship ended for good reasons. Your mind might try to romanticize the past, focusing on the good moments while minimizing the pain. Our brains are designed to move towards pleasure and away from pain. However, this selective memory isn't serving you. Think about this. If someone gave you a beautiful sandwich that was 80% delicious ingredients, but 20% toxic substances that made you violently ill, would you consider that a good sandwich?
No.
Of course not. The same applies to relationships. The good parts don't negate the harm. So when you catch yourself thinking fondly of your ex, I want you to mentally say, that's not the full picture. Then deliberately recall one specific painful incident that shows their true character. Not to wallow in pain, but to maintain perspective. And when you're experiencing what you're experiencing isn't love in its healthiest form. It's more likely a biochemical attachment response. Essentially, withdrawal from relationship chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine. And so understanding this will help you recognize that your feelings are partly biological and chemical, and they will diminish with time. There's an addiction to uncertainty. Let's talk about that. Something that might surprise you, the addiction to uncertainty in relationships. Did you know that relationships with unpredictable patterns of affection can actually become more addictive than consistently loving ones? Think about it like this. When someone consistently treats you well, you come to expect it. But when someone treats you wonderfully one day and horribly the next, you never know what's coming. And this uncertainty creates a powerful psychological hook. Scientists have found that intermittent rewards, getting love and affection occasionally rather than consistently, trigger the same brain pathways activated in gambling addiction. You keep coming back, hoping for that high of connection, even when the odds are against you. Ask yourself, Were you constantly wondering if today would be a good day or a bad day with them? Were you walking on eggshells, never knowing which version of your partner would show up? That's not love. That's an addiction cycle. Those makeup periods after conflicts could feel so good, flooding your brain with relief chemicals that feel intoxicating. The contrast between pain and relief creates a stronger chemical response than consistency could ever. It's why toxic relationships can feel so intense. They're triggering your brain's addiction pathways. But recognizing this pattern can help you understand that what feels like love might actually be dependency on an unhealthy neurochemical cycle. Real love should feel secure, not like an emotional roller coaster that leaves you constantly craving the next fix of affection. Let me introduce a concept from poker that perfectly describes why letting go is so difficult. In poker, being pot committed means you invested so much money in a hand that you feel you must continue playing, even when the odds are clearly against you. You think, I've already put in so much, I can't fold now. Relationships work the same way. You might think, I've invested 5 years, or we've been through so much together, or I've put so much effort into making this work. This creates the false belief that continuing to invest in a failing relationship somehow protects your previous investment. But here's the truth. Those years are already spent. That energy is already given. Continuing to pour more of your precious life into something harmful won't redeem the time already passed. It will only cost you more of your future. This is why the common thought, I've already invested so much time, I can't leave now, is actually a dangerous logical fallacy. In economics, it's called the sunk cost fallacy. When we make irrational decisions based on investments we can't recover. Your past investment in this relationship doesn't obligate you to lose more of your life. The question isn't, how much have I already invested, but rather, is this where I want to invest my future? Let's redefine what happened. Let's reframe what you experienced. What if instead of losing someone special, you actually escaped someone harmful? What if rather than failing at a relationship, you succeeded at recognizing something wasn't working? The stories we tell ourselves shape our reality. So right now, I invite you to consciously choose a more empowering narrative. When you think of the relationship ending, replace I lost something valuable with I reclaimed my future. Replace they rejected me with I was redirected to something better. Consider this. What if this breakup isn't the tragedy your emotions suggest, but actually the universe conspiring in your favor? What if 5 years from now you look back and think, thank goodness that relationship ended when it did? This isn't just positive thinking. It's about opening your mind to alternative interpretations that may actually be more accurate than your current pain-filtered perspective. Your future self perspective. I want you to imagine meeting your future self. The you who exists 5 years from now. The version of you has completely moved on from your ex. This future you might even laugh about how attached once you were to someone so clearly wrong for you. Ask this future self what they would tell you about your current situation. They might say, I know it hurts now, but trust me, this pain is temporary. The freedom you gain is permanent. They might say, the relationship was training wheels for what comes next. You needed to learn these lessons. The qualities you miss aren't unique to that person. those feelings will come again with someone much more compatible. The time you're spending fixated on them is delaying something better. Your future self has perspective you currently lack. They can see the full story, including the wonderful things that haven't happened yet. So now let's talk about cognitive interruption techniques. We need these for when your thoughts of your ex invade your mind. First, the pattern interrupt. When you catch yourself thinking about them, physically snap your fingers or tap your wrist and say, stop, either out loud or in your mind, and then immediately redirect to a completely different thought. Second, the replacement strategy. Identify a specific topic that requires full concentration, perhaps a work challenge, a creative project, or learning something new. When thoughts of your ex arise, immediately switch to this mentally engaging topic. Third, the categorization technique. When memories arise, mentally label them as just a thought or just a memory, rather than reality. Say to yourself, I'm having the thought that I miss them, rather than I miss them. This creates crucial distance between you and the thought. I'll repeat that again. Instead of saying to yourself, I miss them, say, I'm having the thought that I miss them. Okay? Fourth, deliberate contrast. When you recall something positive about them, immediately follow it with 3 negative realities about the relationship. This balances your perspective and prevents idealization. The Ex-Demotion exercise. Okay, here's another powerful mental exercise. I want you to consciously demote your ex from special person I loved to someone I used to know. This isn't about denying your history, but about reclassifying them in your mental filing system. Think about old classmates from school. You once saw them daily, shared significant experiences with them, and perhaps even had intense feelings about them. Yet now, they occupy very little space in your mind. Your ex belongs in this same category, someone who was once relevant to your daily life, but no longer is. They don't deserve premium real estate in your thoughts simply because you once shared intimacy. Practice saying, they're just someone I used to know, like that song. Whenever they come to mind, over time, your emotional response will align with this new classification. I also want to talk about the danger of toxic positivity. I'm guilty of this myself. There's a common but harmful approach many people take after a breakup, focusing only on the good parts of the relationship while deliberately ignoring the painful reality. You might hear advice like, just focus on the positive or be grateful for the good times you had. This isn't healthy positivity. It's toxic positivity. It's denying your actual experience in favor of a sanitized, unrealistic version that feels safer but keeps you trapped. When you say things like, I'll just ignore the bad and focus on the good, or they're not perfect, nobody is, you're not being balanced. You're gaslighting yourself. You're denying the very real pain that your body, mind are trying to process. True healing comes not from selectively remembering only the good or only the bad, but from seeing the complete reality and making peace with all of it. The relationship had positive and negative aspects. Acknowledging this whole truth is what allows you to actually learn and grow. So instead of saying, I'll focus on the good memories, try saying, I acknowledge this relationship had moments of joy, and I also acknowledge it wasn't right for me. This balanced perspective honors your experience while still allowing you to move forward. I want you to relationship elevation. I want you to think about elevating your relationship with yourself, okay? Because The most important relationship in your life is the one that you have with yourself. The energy you're spending thinking about your ex is energy diverted from your relationship with yourself. Each time you obsess over them, you're choosing them over you. So what if you redirected that attention? What if each time you caught yourself thinking about them, you instead asked, what do I need right now? Or how can I show up for myself today? Start treating yourself with consideration and care you were giving to them. Would you speak to your best friend the way you speak to yourself? Would you tell a loved one they're unworthy because someone else couldn't see their value? Make a conscious decision to elevate your relationship with yourself above any past romantic connection. When you truly value yourself, you become naturally less tolerant of connections that diminish you. Okay, let's address something practical now. Digital connections often keep emotional attachments alive artificially. Every time you check their social media, you reset your emotional healing clock. Each peek at their profile is like reopening a wound just as it starts to heal. Make a firm decision right now. No more checking their profiles. No more scrolling through old messages. No more digital connections that keep you trapped in the past. If necessary, delete apps from your phone, delete pictures, block or mute accounts, remove digital temptations that weaken your resolve during vulnerable moments. Remember, what you're seeing on social media isn't reality anyway. It's a curated highlight reel. Comparing your complete reality to their edited presentation creates unnecessary pain. Okay? The next thing we want to do is handle tangible reminders and triggers. The physical reminders and associations that can ambush you with memories. That restaurant where you had your first date, the show that you binge watched together, the gift they gave you that sits on your shelf, the song that was yours. These tangible connections can be powerful triggers that reignite attachment, leaving you wanting to reach out for them. Instead of pretending these triggers don't exist, let's develop a strategic approach to each type. For physical items they gave you, you have 3 healthy options. First, you can remove these items completely, donate, sell, or store them somewhere inaccessible. Second, you can deliberately neutralize the item by using it in a new context that overwrites the old association. Third, you can perform a small ritual of consciously removing the emotional charge from the item, acknowledging it's just an object, not a symbol. For shared locations, practice deliberate reclaiming. Visit that coffee shop with a good friend and create a new positive memory there. Or take a different route for a while until the emotional charge diminishes. Remember, no person owns a location. Your right to enjoy places isn't diminished by shared history. For media you enjoyed together, this might be the hardest category because shows, music, and books can feel deeply intertwined with memories. If something was genuinely meaningful to you beyond the relationship, practice separation in your mind. This show isn't about us. It's a great show I enjoy for these specific reasons. If this separation feels impossible, give yourself permission to find new entertainment for a while. When unexpected triggers arise, perhaps their favorite song plays in a store, use the moment as practice. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, this is just a temporary biological response to a stimulus. It will pass. Then redirect your attention to something immediately present in your environment. Reclaiming your time and space. Your ex no longer has the right to occupy your time, your thoughts, or your emotional energy. Yet every minute you spend thinking about them is giving them time they haven't earned. Start becoming aware of how much time you're giving away. Perhaps set a timer when you catch yourself thinking about them. Then consciously stop after 1 minute. Gradually reduce this allotted time until it becomes insignificant. Similarly, reclaim physical spaces. If certain locations trigger thoughts of them, deliberately create new associations with these places. Visit them with friends, do something completely different. Take photographs that capture new memories. Your time and your spaces belong to you. Reclaim them consciously and deliberately. The attraction of self-sufficiency. Here's a powerful truth. Being emotionally dependent on someone who is wrong for you is inherently unattractive, while being genuinely self-sufficient and at peace is magnetic. When you're fixated on an ex, you're energetically broadcasting neediness and attachment to old patterns. This energy can be sensed by others and often repels potentially healthy connections. Conversely, when you're fully engaged with your own life, pursuing your interests, nurturing your growth, enjoying your own company, you naturally attract people who complement this healthy energy. Remember, the fastest way to attract someone better isn't to keep thinking about someone wrong for you. It's to become so engaged with your own spectacular life that compatible people are naturally drawn to your authentic energy. The lessons, not the lost. One of the most powerful ways to transform your relationship with the past is to focus on what you gained rather than what you lost. Every relationship, even painful ones, offer invaluable wisdom if we're willing to see it. Ask yourself, what did this relationship teach me about myself? About what I truly need, about my boundaries and values? These aren't just comforting questions. They transform a painful experience into a catalyst for growth. Perhaps you learned you need more consistency and less drama. Maybe you discovered certain red flags you'll never ignore again. Perhaps you realized how resilient you truly are, or how much you're capable of giving. These lessons weren't purchased too dearly if they guide you toward healthier relationships in the future. The price of admission to wisdom is often pain, but the wisdom outlasts the pain. Instead of thinking, I wasted years of my life, try reframing to, I invested in my education about relationships. Instead of, I lost someone I loved, considered, I gained clarity about what real love should feel like. This isn't about forcing gratitude for something painful. It's about recognizing the meaning often emerges from our most difficult experiences, if we allow it to. So as I conclude this session, I want to emphasize that forgetting your ex isn't about denying they existed or pretending the relationship didn't matter. It's about rightfully reducing their importance in your current life and future. Your ex was a chapter, not the whole book. Their role in your story has concluded. While you may have learned valuable lessons from that chapter, staying fixated on it prevents you from turning the page. Every day that you choose yourself over thoughts of them, your emotional freedom grows stronger. Every time you redirect your attention to your present reality instead of past pain, you reclaim your power. You have permission to let go. You have permission to move forward. You have permission to release them from your thoughts. Remember, you can listen to this recording whenever you need a reminder of these truths. With each listening, these perspectives will become more natural to you, gradually replacing old thought patterns with healthier ones. You can pair this session with the hypnosis session, Forgetting Your Ex, for maximal relief and for maximum feelings of freedom.